Michelle, pleasure having you on today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I know it's different being on the other side of the fence.
It's so weird still.
We're just going to dive into it.
Okay, let's go. Let's go straight to it.
What's the most attractive thing a guy can do?
For me, I think it's lead. Yeah, I think as a woman, especially like when you want to stay as a feminine woman, you don't really want to take the direction of a relationship. I think it's very attractive when a man can just guide and you naturally follow how I like it to be.
Do you feel the traditional dating model's kind of gone on the role side, and you're from the other side of the pond, so I don't know if it's...
Yeah, no, it has. The whole traditional way of dating is completely gone. People don't really even date anymore. They kind of just like meet up, and there's no like courtship, and there's no impressing people. That's completely gone out the window, which is quite sad. But yeah, traditional wise, it's both sides. It's gone.
What do you think the best way to approach a woman is these days? Obviously, I'm sure your DMs get filled, but I don't feel that's very impressive.
No, I don't like DMs. I like organic meetings. But obviously, we're in a generation now where you can DM Beyonce. Do you know what I mean? You can literally contact anyone that you want through social media, so everyone is accessible to you, which is a scary thing because then it's like you think, oh, what if I don't run into them? You don't leave it to fate. You don't leave it to chance. You just go and use the social media, which I don't like. So don't ever DM me, guys, because I don't like that.
How's someone going to run into you?
Leave it to chance. I like organic meetings. I've always had this thing where I want it to be really dramatic. So I wanted someone to like crash into my car and I get out of the car and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh my God. And then we're like, like in the movies. That's what I want. I mean, don't go around trying to crash into me, guys. But, something like that would be great. But I suppose if you was going to come up and I saw someone, I think lead authentically.
Okay.
Don't ever lead with like a false sense of who you are. Confidence is key. Always make a girl laugh. I think if you can make her laugh from like the first few seconds of talking, you have her attention. With me anyway, I just love to laugh.
I laugh at myself, so I'm just saying it works. How
do you approach women?
I don't like apps. People slide into my DM, I don't respond. Organically, like going to places, bars, restaurants.
Yeah.
I'm not really a drinker, so I actually kind of despise being in those type of environments. But just hanging out with friends and just meeting new people, that's like always organic for me. Yeah. Same as you. I don't want that weird setup. I don't want to, I don't know. I'm afraid if I ever did set up a dating profile and like someone screenshot it and sent it to people, I'd be like, fuck, now you know where I'm on. Like,
I was catfish, guys.
I'm like, shit, I don't want that.
What's your go-to line though if you saw someone that you liked whilst you were out?
A fucking line my dad taught me as a child.
Go on, what is
it? So we would walk in somewhere and my father would go, my son and I were having a debate. I thought you were beautiful, but my son over there thinks you're drop dead gorgeous. And this is at like 10 or 12 years old. I would just turn bright fucking red. But then as an adult, I'm like,
it works.
It works. Yeah. Like I'll usually have one of my friends with me. I'll be like, we're having a debate.
Yeah, it's nice. You complimented her. It's funny. See, you can make her laugh.
Exactly. And I'm like, my dad programmed like something in that like worked. And so it's just me being the authentic me. Like, yeah, I'm not afraid to talk to anybody because of what I've done in business, being through other relationships. Like, shoot your shot. What's the worst someone's going to say? No.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not going to slap you unless you say something ridiculous.
Yeah, or rude. Yeah.
But I'm always polite, professional, and just, I don't say anything too out of pocket.
That's good.
What's the best line you've heard over the years?
Best line. I actually thought about this the other day and it was really funny. No, it's not in my mind. Someone actually DM'd me the other day and it was funny because I actually replied and I don't reply to my requested. But they said, someone's using a fake profile of you. Like you might want to inform your followers. So I responded and I was like, oh my God, can you show me? And then they added NASA and they said it's on NASA because you're an absolute rocket. And it made me laugh. I don't know if that was the best one, but that's just the one that is recent.
It's pretty funny.
It was funny, yeah. It was original. It was original. Oh, I also had one where someone kept sending me like items. So they sent me like a picture of a bed, and a picture of some drawers, and then a picture of, and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "Moving into your DMs."
Did it work?
It was funny. Like I said, if you can make me laugh, it's.
Did you respond?
Yeah, I did, because I like it.
Did you meet the person?
Not that one.
Ugh.
No. Almost.
Almost.
He
opened the door.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we're dating,
Mm-hmm.
can I also have female friends?
Yes, to an extent.
Explain.
So it's like, I have female friends. Of course, I have female friends. I have male friends, but the male friends I have been in my life since I was very little. So it was like never that. I think if you have female friends that you once dated, female friends that you've had sexual relationships with, or female friends that you met at a later age through attraction, they're not necessarily, I wouldn't classify them as your friends. I wouldn't feel comfortable.
That's valid.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But if they were like female friends that you grew up with, or you like went to college with, or, you know, there was never an attraction there. All day long, do what you want. I'm not insecure. But if you said, "Oh yeah, well we used to date, or I used to fancy her," why? She's not your friend. You're just waiting for another opportunity. But no. What about you?
Same.
Like I think it's fair.
Yeah, and a lot of that has gotten lost. Like, we've all been through failed relationships, and one of mine that failed is because there was a person that fancied that person at one time, and I'm like, why does that person even have your contact?
Yeah. I think with this world is nobody likes to cut ties. Nobody knows how to just leave things in the past. They keep everyone around. Like, everyone has access to everyone now. People that you dated once 10 years ago shouldn't still have access to you now, but they do.
No, and like
medias and
some of the people I've dated have like started new Instagrams, changed their number, and I'm like, well, you changed your number, started a new Instagram. How's
he still contacting you?
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. That doesn't make sense. So I'm the same as you. Like, and a lot of that's been lost, and a lot of people think, oh, it's innocent, it's this, it's that. It's like, we both have large followings. You've been all over TV, like, but there's certain DMs you just don't open. You'll look at it and be like, okay, that stays in that third mailbox that we don't touch. Yeah. And just a lot of people feel like, oh, they need to open everyone. They need to respond to everyone and not cut certain ties.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I think it's quite unhealthy, actually. I think your energy field should be protected, and who is allowed in you should be very cautious of.
There's a
lot.
Do
you want some glasses?
There's a lot of questions. Like,
is there?
If you want to turn around for a half a second, there's a lot of stuff on there.
That's not too bad.
Because he knows if he made it any longer, there's no chance. I'm gonna be like, next.
I am not reading all of that.
Treated as woman now. Why is there so much divorce?
Ooh. I think one of the main reasons for divorce is, how do I say this? False options. False sense of security with options. So
explain.
Years ago, people would get married and you couldn't ring someone or go online and meet somebody else. So the chances of you meeting somebody else that you felt compatible with were a lot rarer.
Okay.
Because you'd have to be out the house or, bump into somebody. So you had lack of options and lack of contact because you didn't have social medias, you didn't have phones.
Phones used to be wired to the wall.
Exactly. Like, only at home and your husband's in the room, you're not going to be calling your ex, are you? Yeah. So that was a big part. I think people have lost sight of what relationships are actually about. And because they have the false sense of options, it's like, well, if it doesn't work out, it's fine, because I've got 10 people in my DMs right now waiting for me. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not going to fight and I'm not going to make this work. I'll just go find somebody else because I can. One click, I've messaged someone else and I'm on a date tonight. That wasn't an option years ago. People had way more fight to keep their relationships going. But also, years ago, it was traditional, very more traditional. So men stayed in their masculine roles and women stayed in their feminine roles. And it works because that's exactly how we're supposed to be. Like, that's what God intended it to be like. And then now that's flipped side upside, God knows where, in a full circle. And when you're not being true to your authentic self and who you are and who you were created to be, you aren't settled, and your partner's going to not be settled. It's going to have like an off balance. And then there's cause conflict in your relationships. Women have this whole, I'm independent, I don't need no man, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they argue.
How do you feel about that topic?
Nobody needs anybody to a certain degree.
100%.
We can all survive alone. We've all proved that, women and men. We're not supposed to. We aren't supposed to. There's a reason it takes two people to have a baby. There's a reason men have better strengths at some things and women have better strengths, so that when they come together, they create a whole. As a woman and a man together, it's an undeniable force. Like there's nothing the two of them cannot accomplish or do together, because you've covered all bases. Strength-wise, ability-wise, you've got everything there between a man and a woman, which you can't have as a woman. Yes, women can be strong and women can, but not naturally. That's a man's role. And like men can be emotional and men can be nurturing, but not as natural as how a woman is. And that's why they they're supposed to be together. Not necessarily a need, but I think if we look at how God wanted the world to be with men and women, we are supposed to want that. We are supposed to crave that. And it's supposed to be a natural thing for a man to be with a woman and a woman to be with a man. And I think the whole, I don't need you. No, you don't need anybody. But it's lovely, isn't it? To love someone, to have.
It's nice to have a partner.
To have a soulmate. Yeah, I think it's beautiful.
Do you feel men have lost their masculine role?
Yes, they have. I'm so sorry, guys. You all suck. You all suck. Like, no, man.
All of us?
No, that's not all. There's some great men out there. I've seen them. My friend's married to a great man. I'll tell you guys. But a lot of men. And I think that's why a lot of women have tucked into their masculine roles, because there's not enough men being masculine. So as a woman, you can only really drop into your feminine if you feel safe. Otherwise, you have the guard up. You feel like you have to go into a masculine to be like protected and strong in this world. Because I don't want to be a strong woman. No. I want to bake bread. I want to wear aprons and, do Pilates.
Are you a good baker?
I'm great. Yeah, I'm a great chef, guys. I'm a great woman, okay?
What's your specialty?
Cooking. No, I'm a nurturer. I'm a mummy. So I just love to nurture people. I love to look after people. I don't want you to stress. I don't want you to have any worries. I feel like men have a lot on their shoulders a lot of the time. And we don't give them enough credit for it, to be like the real men, not the fake men.
Not the
real
fake
men
ones.
Carry a lot of weight. They provide, they work, they are the backbone of the family. They're the strength of the family. They hold everything together. They make sure everyone's always looked after and safe. And I feel like if you have that as a woman, if I had that as a woman, I would make sure that you just had everything. You were fed. Your clothes were there on the bed for you when you wake up. You've got your lunch.
Oh, you even pick out outfits.
I will pick your outfits. I will have them ironed and fresh. So when I was younger, that's what my mom did for my dad. So my mom's from the Philippines. She's very traditional. She's very old school. Like my mom had chaperones while she was dating my dad. She wasn't allowed to be with him before marriage without a chaperone. So after they got married, obviously, she was like, he wasn't even allowed to see me in a bikini before we got married. And now you go online and you got 100 girls in bikinis just for fun. Just
go on your explore page.
Yeah. So, but she was very old school, traditional. She stayed at home with the kids. So every morning he woke up, she made him a coffee before she got out of bed. She had head to toe massage. His clothes were laid out on the bed. Breakfast just downstairs ready. His lunches were made. Dinner was on the table when he got home. Like, she was a queen. And that was how. So when I was like 5 or 6, she was like, you need to learn how to look after a man. So I had to start doing it from a young age. But I love it. And I think it's beautiful. And I think as women, that's our power, is that we really can just look after. We really can hold things together. And you know how they say, like, women are multipliers. You give them all this and they'll make it. We are. That is our superpower. And we should embrace that, as opposed to be like, no, I want to be like a man. I don't want to be like you guys. I don't want to be like you guys.
You don't want to carry that weight?
No.
My backpack's pretty full.
Exactly. But because you have all of that weight, you're supposed to come home and just unload, and the woman's there to just take it off your shoulders,
I want peace when I walk in the door.
This is it. Your dinner's on the table. The house is clean. Play with your kids, or if you don't want kids, it's up to you, And it's just peace. You're supposed to be a safe haven. You're supposed to be each other's safe haven, and that's it. Like, you go out, you've got the world on your shoulders, especially as a man, because, you're not allowed to show your emotions, and you're not allowed to do all of these things, and you stay strong, which is admirable. But your woman is your home, she's just safe. Right, let me take it off. Let's rub you down. Let's get your bath run. That's our superpower.
Love that.
Yeah.
You've said in the past you wouldn't date anyone in their 30s that isn't making a certain amount. Which is understandable. You're a mother. Like, you want to stay home, you want to take care of the household.
Yeah.
So they have to make X in order for you to stay home and do all of that.
Yes.
If that person, though, is working, I'll be nice, 60 hours a week.
Okay.
Providing everything, being faithful, doing all of that stuff. Are you upset that they're working too much?
Oh, absolutely not. No. You have to do what you have to do.
Because there's that balance of, okay,
I can't expect you to give me everything that I want and it's not come with some sort of sacrifice or price. And that's it. Like, I don't think people know how to compromise as well these days. It's all about, well, I want this, and I don't compromise. There is a compromise somewhere and it usually is time. But also we'll get to a certain point where you won't need to work as much or...
Yeah, and look, I have some weeks where I might only work 20 hours. There might be another week where I'm gone for 2-3 weeks.
But that's life, you know? And it's just about understanding, okay, this is what I want. And in order, just make sure the time that we have together is quality time. We get to share great moments together. It's not like you come home, you're too tired to see me, or I'm going to bed. I'm not,
No, you want to be excited when you come home, whether you're on a long trip and
you have
you want to be with your partner.
Time.
Yeah, like, look, I want an hour when I walk in the door.
We eat together. We
give
talk
you a
about
hug.
days.
Just give me an hour to get my shit together.
Yeah, stunning.
What are some tips for men and women that you feel could improve dating these days?
Okay. 1, no roster. This whole, I'll keep 10 on my roster till, no, I don't like that. I feel like if you're going to start seeing somebody or you're dating somebody, keep that energy there into one person. Because when your energy's sparse, the other person will feel it. Subconsciously, they'll pick up on it, that they're not the only person. And they might feel, okay, this person doesn't like me as much and things like that. And also your energy sparse between people. So you can't really make a true connection with anybody because you're not allowing yourself to be there, centered, true, to make that connection. So I think even if it's early stages, whatever, once you start dating, keep it as one person. If it doesn't work out, cool, you can go back to whoever you're going, but just always keep your energy to one person. Be authentic from the get-go. Don't build up a fake version of yourself or lead with like a lie or lead with anything that's not authentic because it will come out. You'll waste your time. You'll waste the other person's time. I just think if people were more honest about who they were, life would be a lot easier. And yeah, just, I don't know, compromise. Understand we have different abilities. We have different strengths. We're not here to be the same. We're not here to be equal, unfortunately. We can be, but yeah, just...
A lot of people aren't willing to compromise these days?
I think so. I mean, a lot of people I know are happy to, but I've also seen it on the flip side where people are like, no, this is it. But what is anything without compromise? You have to compromise in everything in life, really. Very true. Obviously set your standards, like set your non-negotiables. This is what I'm never going to stand for. And these are things that I would be willing to compromise on. And once your boundaries are set, then you stick to that. But don't be so hard, brick wall, Do
you find as you've dated over the years, a lot of people are just inauthentic in general?
Yes. Yeah.
How long does it take for you to sort through it to finally figure out, oh, this person's full of it? Or
to be fair, my discernment recently is incredible. Like I've even amazed myself. But in the past, I always say about people can act for about 3 months before the mask starts to fall off.
That's a fair.
Yeah. I think they can live in their little facade for about 3 months and then you can slowly see the chips in their character of what they were pretending to be because you can't uphold a fake persona for so long. You start to get complacent, you start to get content with that person and then it slowly starts to fade off and you can see their true self. But I can pick up on it really fast now. I'd say like within 3 dates, I know.
Within 3 dates? Within
3 dates, I know if you're who you say you are, if the things aren't right.
Having a kid, do you find that your standards went up even higher? Or your checklist, I should say?
No. I think I've always been quite, I know what I want. If anything, I might have learned how to compromise a bit more now that I have a child. I have a better understanding of life and relationships and how things work and how things don't work sometimes. So yeah, no. I don't think I ask for a lot either.
From the sounds of it, you don't.
I don't think I do. People say, oh, you want this? And I'm like, but what do you ask for? Like, if you wanted to date a woman, what would your checklist be?
Someone who's nurturing and caring, someone who's going to be a mother, I have 2 kids, so they'd have to accept my kids as well.
Yeah.
Not opposed to more children. Just obviously it's not your biological kids, but you still have to love and respect them. Respect towards me, not talking to other men, not belittling me to your friends. Oh, Brian's this way. Oh, Brian's that way. Complaining that I have to work too much because, hey, you want a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
I want a certain lifestyle. This is why I work as much as I do.
Yeah.
I started my day today at 5:30. I was done with my first meeting at 9:30, and then it was an hour and a half drive here.
Oh, wow.
I was like, but that's the life. Like, I enjoy the podcasting part. I enjoy what I did this morning. And then there's more stuff after this. And it's just, I'm also able to have the flexibility. Okay, we're going to have lunch after this. Okay, so I can push the rest of the things in my day because that's the life I've built. Or if my partner wants to have a random lunch, okay, let me see if I can move this, and let's make it happen.
Yeah.
And just that understanding and compromise.
So it's just basic human.
Basic human, like,
Yeah.
you don't have to buy me things. I've bought every toy I've ever wanted. Like, that does.
I know men love toys, don't they?
Fuck, I have bought way too many toys.
Toys. It's like women's bags.
Same thing, except our habit. They could be comparable.
quite-
I'm like, they both could be expensive.
Yeah.
My most favorite gift of all time from anyone is a handwritten card.
My favorite things on my birthdays are cards. If you don't get me a card, I get really sad.
Yeah. Birthday, Valentine's Day, Christmas, like anniversary. I do not need a gift. Spend 20 minutes writing a card.
Yeah. And make it really beautiful.
Make it beautiful. Do something thoughtful.
Yeah, I prefer like thoughtful things or experiences more than gifts. I'm not really a gift girl.
Yeah. And I was talking about this on another podcast recently. Like, everybody looks so forward to Valentine's Day. I'm like, why isn't every day special?
Exactly.
Like, okay, fine. You want to go out on Valentine's Day, dress up, fine. But also, you should be going on dates with your partner weekly, a couple times a week, depending on the schedule. And I think a lot of this has just been lost. And social media, like we both said, people think the grass is greener on the other side.
100%, 100%. And also, people don't value love anymore.
No, that's been lost.
People don't value actually just being in love, and they value the feeling. But love, to me, isn't a feeling, it's a choice. Like, you'll wake up some days and you might not necessarily look at them like, oh, I love you so much. Like, but you still choose to, because that's who you chose as a partner to love and respect forever. And I think that is another reason why things fall apart, is because they might wake up one day and their feeling isn't as strong, and they'll go, oh, you know what, I'll find someone else. And of course, the feeling will be stronger with someone else because it's new, it's exciting, it's a honeymoon stage. But love is a choice. You choose to.
And look, after a year, you got to work at it.
Exactly. And maybe after 2 years, you have to work at it again, and you have to keep working at it, but you choose to do that because you love that person. You're going to invest and you're going to stay with that person. And it's like, I watched this video. It's like this man, I think he was like 70 or 80, married like 50 years with his wife, still so in love. And he said, whilst I was married to her, I've been married to 17 different people, and I still had to choose to love her through every single phase of her life. And that is love. It's
100%.
that, it's making that decision. I'm committed to you. You're what I want. That's it, no matter what. And if there's anything, we'll make it work and we'll overcome it. Like, everyone in my family has only ever been with their husband. My mom was only ever with my dad until he passed away. My auntie, she's the best woman in the whole world. She's been married for 37. She's going to kill me if I get this wrong. 37 years, I think. Wait, 37 or 38 years now. But he had a stroke 17 years ago. Very much. She's only ever been with him. She's only ever dated him, married him. He had a stroke 17 years ago. So he lost sight, all feeling in his left-hand side, and he's not been able to speak a word since. That woman has not left his side for a day. Like, she wakes up, she washes him, she feeds him. Like, if I take her out to bingo or something, she will get an Uber home because she'll be like, no, I need to go and get his dinner. She looks after him. And I'm like, how do you do that? Like, 17 years, you've not had a conversation with your husband. You can't really do anything with your husband. She was like, because that was what I decided when I married him. I chose to love him through everything, through sickness and health. And I will love him until the end, because that is what I decided to do. And that was my decision to him and my commitment to him. And I was like, that's love. That is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. And that is what I see growing up. And that's all I've ever seen. So that's what I want. That kind of love.
Talk about a ride or die.
Yeah, oh my God, she is the definite Tita Ava. You are the best woman in this world. She is, honestly, she's so precious and she loves him. She can't speak to him, but she loves him. She admires him. She said to me, Michelle, if I die before that man and you don't look after him the way, I will haunt you.
You're like, shit.
Yeah, but she just adores him. I don't know, she's just amazing. She makes all his favorite foods all the time. 3 meals a day. She's always cooking. She learned how to do all his injections and stuff because she didn't want anyone else to be medicating him. And I remember there was a time where I was like, why don't you get some carers in, to help you?
Just to take a little.
You're getting older too. So she did for like a week and she was like, I got rid of them. And I'm like, why? She's like, they do not look after him how I do. So yeah, she's just there every day. Her whole life is devoted to this man. And that is love to me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Having, I've had my own health issues, and having the right person by your side definitely makes a big difference in those times.
Yeah, completely. Like, I don't know what he would do without that woman. I think he wouldn't even know what he would do without that woman. She is just precious in every way.
Does he understand what she says?
He can understand everything. He just can't talk back. And I think that's really frustrating for him. It's because he wants to. So sometimes she'll do something and you just see like a tear because he's just so overwhelmed with love from her, but he can't even express it to her anymore.
Can he type with one hand? Kind of, sort of.
The brain doesn't really know how to
it's not firing.
Yeah. So like he'll just send like thumbs up. I'll be like, are you okay? And he'll just thumbs up me like with the emoji. And I'm like, okay.
Like, I get it. Emojis work.
But he understands when you talk and he can say like, yeah. But that's as far as it goes. And that's what she's dealt with for 17 years. And she's still the happiest, most loving, precious person in the world.
That's phenomenal.
And she's one of my favorite role models ever.
That's a great role model to have.
She is, yeah.
Especially like we said, in today's times, a lot of stuff's been lost.
Yeah, exactly. Like you wouldn't see something like that now.
No.
Very rare. Oh, very rarely.
Rare.
If somebody had lost their mobility and their speech, I would probably give someone a good year. I'm probably being generous there.
Maybe 2 on the high side.
What, looking after them? You can't speak to your husband. You can't, you have to get them up, take them to the toilet. You got to shower them. You got to dress them. You got to feed them. You got to medicate them, inject them. Like, but especially like someone maybe younger, because she would have been 40, yeah, 40, I think. So she wasn't old when it happened. She could have gone and moved on, but she didn't. She chose to stay because that was her choice, to love him, and she stuck with that choice in her vows, and she valued her words.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she is amazing.
Thank you for sharing that.
Okay.
Switching gears a little bit.
Mm.
What made you want to get into this whole social media thing, talking about all of it, going on the different shows and just being there, being exposed at that level?
It was actually really funny. Do you believe in like manifestation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I've got a really funny story. I've never told the story actually. So when I was little, and I'm like 5 or 6, I used to put on a nightly show at my house where I'd like, one day I'd come in and I'd be like, guys, Michelle is coming and today she's a comedian, okay? And then I'd walk
This is for your parents?
My dad, yeah.
Okay.
He absolutely thought I was the best thing in the world and he loved my shows. So like I'd be a comedian and then the next day...
Is there videos of this?
No, unfortunately, back in those days.
Back in those days, you needed the big camcorder.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like a comedian and then I would be like an actress and then I was a singer. And then my dad said to me, he said, when you grow up, you're going to be a presenter. I can see it. I can feel it. You were born to present. Went out of my head and never thought about it. It was just something that he always used to say to me as a kid. I lost my dad when I was 12.
I'm sorry. It's never easy.
No, never easy, but it's fine. And then carried on with my life, did everything that I was supposed to do. And then I remember a few years ago, I said, I don't want to do this. I feel like I'm being called to do something bigger, to do something else. And I sat down in the living room with my sister and I was like, you know what, this time next year, I'm going to be known. I'm going to be doing something and And I just had all these things. And she was like, how can you say that without a plan? And I said, it's a feeling. I can just feel something.
Did you end up writing all of this down or you just said it?
No, I just said it.
Okay.
I just said it to the universe. And then I rang my friend and I was like, I think I want to create something. I want to do videography. So he was like, okay, cool. Come with me on the weekend. I've got like a set. I'm filming some band or whatever. and I would teach you. So I went there, my first day as a videographer. I didn't even know how to turn the camera on, but I was winging it, I had my camera and I was pretending. And someone came and was like, oh, your work looks great. How long you been doing this? And I said, authentically, being fully transparent, this is my first day. I don't know how to work a camera. He said, cool, you'll be even cheaper. If I teach you, can you film all of my work? And he was a really big content creator in England. Like he was very well known. He's very popular. So I was like, oh, okay, sick. So he booked me. I did loads of his videos. And one day I was shooting a Disney ad for him. And one of the models didn't show up. And he said, can you be in the video? And I said, oh, no. Like, I'm going to stay on this side
You're like,
of the
I'm
camera.
on the backside.
Yeah, I was like, I don't go in front. And he's like, please, I'll pay you extra. And I was like, Anyway, he somehow coerced me into being in this video. And I did. And I was like terrified. My teeth were like, like, it was horrible. And I only had to say like one thing. And it was like you too or something. It was like the smallest line.
Like,
it's like you too. And I was like, oh, killed me. But I did it. And then from there, this company that I work with called Wagwan, they wanted to start a podcast as a way to push their brand through a different approach of marketing with having a podcast. And they saw me on the advert and was like, she would be great to host this podcast. Me and my little 2 words, they decided it would be great. So we had a meeting.
See, you did an amazing job with those 2 words.
I know. Had a meeting and they were like, yeah, we want you. And I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about it. I was really nervous. And they was like, no, you have to do it. And then afterwards, when I started the show, I realized that the guy who got me to do the video that I didn't want to do was named David. The guy who owns Wagwan that got me to do the podcast was called David. And my dad was called David. So it was like all aligned and it was all manifested into that one moment. So yeah, I started doing that a few years, 2.5 years ago now. And then from there, I got booked for grilling, did grilling, which was more about dating and stuff. And then here I am.
Made it to the other side of the world.
And now I'm in LA filming podcasts. It's so crazy.
You're like, got a busy week filming all sorts of fun stuff.
I know, it's crazy. It's actually crazy.
Packed way too much cold weather clothes.
I know. Everyone told me it was going to be cold and it's really warm.
To LA people, this is cold.
Yeah, well, to English people, this is probably the hottest summer we've had.
That shit just cracks me up every time. Would you let a guy pay for a meal or a drink at a club if he's not your man?
Well, like a stranger?
An acquaintance.
It depends on how we're acquainted. Like, I would never let a stranger buy me anything because you're a stranger to me. Why? Yeah, no.
They'd have to tell you something funny first.
Go on.
No, I'm saying the person would have to tell you something
Even
funny.
then, I would know. I feel like, no, not a stranger. No. No. I'm like, oh, no, it's fine. Thank you. I'll get it myself. Like I was in Ibiza a few months ago and we met like a group of people and they were like, oh, we'll get you that. I was like, no, it's fine. But we was with them for a few days and I was like, no, it's fine. It's fine. But I feel like once, maybe, I won't say like completely together, but if we're like dating and I look to you as a potential, then obviously yes, because I'm not going to take that away from you as a man. I know men love to have that provide and that that kind of leadership over the things, which is I like. So I wouldn't take it away from you if I like you, but not if you're somebody that I don't see like that, no. But even my friend, like one of my best friends, he always buys me things, but he's my best friend, so. But then I would do it for him. We'd take it in turns, he wouldn't just buy everything for me. It's just like how I would do with my mates, any of them, so yeah. But not a stranger, no.
No strangers.
No strangers.
Do girls ever get over their first love?
I can't speak on behalf of all women.
We'll just talk for you. Putting you on the spot here.
This is crazy. Okay, so, do we ever get over? Yes, we do get over. But it's like, I have my first ever boyfriend who was great. It was never right between us. We weren't actually ever meant to be together. And I know that. And I knew that from a young age. And when I broke up with him.
You broke his heart?
Yeah, I did. I know. I wasn't a great person. I was really young. I was like 17, 18.
You're still a baby.
I was a baby. I was still grieving my dad. I was unruly. I had anger problems. You know, I was just very a traumatized child. And he got the brunt of it, unfortunately, but he was a great person. So I do think about him sometimes, and I do think like, oh, I wish I wasn't as mean, or I wish I did things differently. But then I think life happens the way it's supposed to happen, and everything happens for a reason. And there's a reason that situation played how it's supposed to. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm not over him. Like everyone gets over someone, but I think there's just always, they'll always hold a special place in your heart, I think. Yeah. What about you? Because I heard it's actually worse for men with their women than it is for women with men.
Because of my childhood, wasn't an issue. I came from a very rough background of abuse and other items. So for me, I'm just like, meh. People that loved you most supposedly like would do stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, I can be cold. I just flip the switch.
Yeah. What about your first love? How old were you?
Fuck, I think I was 15.
Okay.
15, 16.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like a light switch went off one day. I was like, I'm over this.
Really? Do you still think about her?
Huh?
Do you still think about her?
Once in a blue moon, it'll like pop up and just be like, oh.
Yeah.
And I look at it as building blocks. That's where I've gotten today. And I'm still on a healing journey and finding myself spiritually and all that other good stuff. And just, you got to keep growing. Whether you're in a relationship or not, like you still have to grow and you can't just sit idle. Yeah. I think a lot of people forget and they're like, oh, I'm in a relationship. I don't have to try. I don't have to work on myself. Yeah. I can let myself go.
But I think if you're in the right relationship and you have great stability with that person, naturally you will want to elevate. They'll want to elevate. You'll elevate together. You'll push each other.
Push each other to get
growing. You want to be the best version of yourself for me. I want to be the best version of myself for you, you know, if it's the right thing.
And for your kids.
And for your children, yeah. And for everything. Just for everyone in your life.
Is it true women check out of relationships months before the breakup?
100%.
You already knew where I was going.
100%. 100 million%. Women.
How does a man know that you've already checked out?
I think she probably would have communicated it, even maybe not in so many words, but I think your actions would show. I think women in love are like babies. Like men in love are like babies, but women in love are just like helpless little babies. They want to be around you all the time. They want to speak to you all the time. Like hearing your voice makes my day better. Seeing you makes my day better. If I don't want to be around you anymore, if I'm not blowing up your phone, I've checked out. If it's been a week and I'm not really asked to spend any time with you, I've checked out. If I'm not texting you, how's your day? I'm gone. My mind's gone. And I think that's why a lot of women find it easier to move on after a relationship than men do, because they've already left. Women leave mentally before they physically leave. A lot of women do anyway, naturally, because I think they exert all their energy. They put everything into it until they're literally like, I cannot physically do this anymore. And they'll still stay and they'll still try. But mentally, they're gone. So then by the time they're still trying with their little things and he's not bettering or changing, physically, it's just easier to leave then.
What's the best way to break up with someone at that point?
I hate breakups because they make me so sad, and no one's ever broke up with me, so I actually don't know how it feels to be on the receiving end. And actually, I don't know if that's a thing I'm grateful for, everything I'm a bit envious of, because I'd like to understand the pain, but I don't think there's an easy or good way to break up with somebody. It's horrible. It's really painful. I think you just have to be completely honest with yourself and with the person. You can't fall. I think if you fell out of love with someone, you have to just be honest and just be like, I don't love you anymore, or this isn't what I want, or if they've done something, like if they've cheated, then, you know, it's a given. But the best way, sit down, talk.
Be honest.
Be honest. Be completely honest.
Rip the Band-Aid.
Rip that Band-Aid up. There's no point sorry, can I say?
You can say whatever you want.
There's no point pussyfooting around it, though. You know, if it is what it is and it's the end, just get straight to the point. Straight to the point, yeah.
You're old school, so I know the answer to this question. Should men be allowed to sleep with other women when they're in a relationship?
No, obviously not.
You've seen those things on...
Obviously not. I don't understand. So this whole new age of men that go, well, I'm an alpha, I can have 10 women. No, you cannot. Okay? No, you cannot. You've got...
I don't want to manage 10 women. I want one.
I don't understand why, but I think, one, it stems from like insecurities. So you are insecure. Two, I think you have abandonment issues. Personally, I think if you need multiple women, it's through fear of abandonment. You have a fear of putting all your eggs into one basket. If she leaves, that you're going to be abandoned. So you think, oh, if I have multiple women, then I've always got a rotation. I'm never going to be alone. I'm never going to have that feeling of being abandoned. So heal, go and heal. You've clearly got a lot of trauma if you want more than one woman, because a true masculine man that values women and respects women would only want one good woman in their life. You know, they wouldn't want multiple. Same as women, like when you love someone and you cherish someone, you value someone and respect them, you have complete tunnel vision. You don't even see anybody else. Well, I'm speaking from me. I don't know about all women, but everyone that I know, it's the same thing. Once they're in love and they value someone and there's a certain level of respect and love, it's tunnel vision. Like I wouldn't even bat an eyelid if God knows who came in, so I just move, see you later. Do you know what I mean? Straight that person. And I don't understand why men think. I don't think you can be in love and sleep with multiple women either. I don't think you're in love at all.
No, that's just...
Yeah.
Kind of slight twist from that. Would you keep friends around that are not faithful in their relationships?
No. I actually fell out with one of my friends once because she had an affair. Yeah, we didn't speak for about 3 years. We only made friends again because they actually got back together and made things work, and, you know, life goes on. But no, I couldn't. My friends are all very loyal, very respectful. But like, even if I was to say like, oh, you know, they would straight put me in my place. They're like, Michelle, you've got way more respect for yourself and for your relationship than to do anything like that. If I was to ever like sway, or, you know, I have a strong circle of people around me. Yeah. So no, I couldn't. I just think as well, if you can do that to somebody you love, what could you do to me? Yeah, no.
Very true. And a lot of people don't think about that. Oh, well, this person does it, but I don't. And it's just, you really want that energy around you.
Exactly.
And I'm old school in some aspects. And I guess maybe coming from a weird home, like that's something I've always wanted. Like home cooked breakfast, home cooked dinner, lunch, I'm on my own because wherever the heck I am.
Yeah.
And whether it's small, large, like I like egg whites every morning and sliced tomatoes.
So quick.
I'm like, that's quick and easy. Dinner, surprise me.
Yeah.
Lunch, I'll figure it out. But it's those roles of, you know, running the bath, or, hey, babe, I booked us a massage, or just the little things. It's like, take my credit card and just go do it. When I get home, I don't want to have to worry about stocking the fridge.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't know.
And like, have my kids been fed? Do I need to feed them? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Like when I have my kids, obviously, okay, my responsibility. But when I'm in a relationship, it's like certain things I want handled.
I mean, if you're the one who's working and you're the one who's providing and she's at home, I think it's a fair trade, really, isn't it? That he should come home and not have to worry about anything else other than just being at peace at home.
You're a unicorn. You're not from LA.
No, I'm not from LA.
And
I'm from the Philippines.
And most people don't think about that.
Yeah, I know. And I think...
Or today's society, I should say.
Yeah. There was a thing I watched and it said the biggest relationship breaker in this generation is unmet expectations. And it's that people expect way too much. And then when it isn't met, then they sort of like, what did he say? When it isn't met, then you start getting upset or you start getting hurt because they haven't provided you a certain level of something that you've expected, whereas it's not the reality of the situation. I think if a man is providing you a life where you can stay soft and you're feminine and you're not going to work and you're not climbing these corporate ladders and competing with all these things and worrying about I hate worrying about finances. I don't want to know what bills are coming out. I don't like all of that. I just hate it. But I think if you have a man that's providing that easy life, because it is an easy life. It's so easy for a woman. People are going to hate me for this, but it is. We do have it easy if we have a man that puts us there. Like, that we get to stay home. We get to raise our children. That's what we are here for as women. Like, we are here to nurture and raise our children. That's why we have the milk and we have the emotions and we have that thing. So it's like, people don't understand the blessing and it's a privilege. And I don't care what anyone, I know so many people hate when I say it's such a privilege to be able to stay home with your children, and to have someone to allow you to stay home and be with your children is not as respected as it should be.
No, everybody's of the thought these days of your kid needs to get into pre-K as soon as possible. You need to get them out of the house. You need the nanny. You need, like, look, I'm all for a housekeeper, and there's times where you need a little break.
Yeah.
But
breaks are essential.
I don't think handing your kid off day in, day out is a good idea.
No. So a child actually stays in its mother's energy for 3 years. The child doesn't know it's its own person until around the age of 3. And they did an experiment on this where they had like a baby I think it was about 1.5, and they put something on the mum's nose and showed the baby. And the baby tried to wipe it off its own nose because it still felt connected to the mother. It's not in its own energy space until 3 years old. So taking a child away from the mother before 3 causes a lot of wounds and trauma. Even subconsciously, the child might not even realize, but it causes abandonment issues. Like when a child sleeps away from the mum, their heart rate increases by double.
Oh, wow.
Double, like literally double. And then,
like, even if the kid's with the father,
if you've got to think, a baby comes into the mother's womb and is for 9 months straight, all it knows is her heartbeat, her smell, her voice, her sound, her energy, her feel. And then to have a baby and go, all right, you're going in this cot now, and the baby's in this brand new world, it doesn't know anything, it's not feeling any of the sensations it's used to, it goes into a panic mode, and their heart rate doubles, like literally doubles. And that causes stress. And then they have that, the cot death, SIDS, sudden infant death. And that's caused by children going into certain levels of stress because they've been removed from their mother's energy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of co-sleeping.
Co-sleeping all day long, and breastfeeding.
Yep.
Breastfeeding.
And that's kind of frowned upon these days.
Yeah, but it's the most natural way.
Mm-hmm.
It's the child to stay in the mother's energy, to stay with the mother, to stay close. Can you imagine being this innocent, tiny little thing? You've came into this big, scary world. You don't know anything. You've got all these new sounds. You've got all these new sights. You've got all these new feelings and smells. It's going to be so overwhelming. And then they go, the only person that you know keeps you safe is going to go put you over there now, and I'm going to go in my nice bed, and you're going to stay in this cold room. Well, not cold, okay? We're not child abusing here, but you're going to go in this room by yourself, and I'm going to take away everything that you know and feel safe with, and you're just this tiny baby. You can't talk, you can't fend for yourself, you're just laying there. Can you imagine like the fear and the stress and the panic? Also, there was a study on the abandonment wounds it causes. Even though you're not abandoning your child, I'm not saying you are, they class the babies feel abandoned.
Oh yeah, my daughter will sleep till like 1 a.m, and then like 1:30, if I'm not in the bed next to her, she's like, "Where are you?" Yeah,
because it's in you. As humans, we crave love. We all crave love. There's no human here that says, "Oh, I don't want to have love." Of course you do. We are humans. We are here to crave love, and that's what we love. That's what we value as people, and it's beautiful that we have that. But as a baby, that's all you know. As you get older, you have different feelings, you have different emotions, you have different experiences where maybe you don't value. But as a child, all you know is love. All you crave is love, and all you value is love. So that's all you should feel at every point until you're old enough to be an established little child and go off and learn your own things.
Oh, people like guilt me. They're like, your daughter shouldn't still be sleeping in bed with you. I'm like, she's 3.
Oh,
I'm going to go put her in another room by herself,
no.
Like on the other side of the house, like, bye.
My youngest son's almost 5, and if my eldest son isn't there, he's in bed with me. He's in bed with me, and he will stay there until he doesn't want to be there anymore. He's my child, and I think there's a whole rush on, get your kids out of your bed, and you're making a rod for your own back, and they need to learn independence. Why do they need to learn independence at 4 years old? Where are they going to be independent? Are they going to go get a job? Are they going to go out the house by themselves? They are not.
They're going to start cooking for you.
Oh, exactly. They're going to go and get a job, and they're going to drive themselves. Why does my 4-year-old need to be independent? Why are we pushing independence on little helpless children that don't need to be independent anywhere? The only thing they need to learn is safety, that they have people to rely on, that they have all the love that they need. That's it, the 4 years old. They don't need to learn, especially as a baby. Why does my 6-month-old baby need to learn independence? Why does my child need to learn how to live life without relying on me when I'm the only person he should be relying on? Why are we teaching them the opposite? I don't understand it. It really baffles my head. I don't understand. When people say that to me when I was a kid, because I used to co-sleep and I used to breastfeed, and they're like, oh, he's going to rely on you for everything. I was fucking mum. Who else is he going to rely on? He can't even walk. I'll never understand it. Honestly.
I was holding my newborn the other day, and after like 15 minutes, he's like, "Fuck you, I don't want you anymore." I'm like, all right, I get it. You want boobs, you want your milk. Like,
Yeah,
like,
they want their safe space.
and I'm like, even though I'm his father, it's with my daughter, like it was weird at first. I'm like, what do you mean you don't want me? But then like the more I thought about it, I'm like, oh no, that's your safe space. That's what you're used to.
Space, yeah,
and like around 2, I saw the shift where she was like, okay,
they
she can
start
come
going into their own energy. Then. Yeah.
But even then, they're still a little person. Like, I don't want an independent 3-year-old.
For what?
She bosses me around already.
Yeah, good.
I don't need it any worse.
Yeah, exactly. I never understand the whole they need to learn how to be independent. For what and why? They're children. Let them be children. Let them rely on your parents, especially as a mom. Like, if my kid was like, "Oh, mom, I don't need you," I'd be like, "What do you mean you don't need me? Of course you need me."
You'd start crying and be like, "What do you mean?
Who's going to feed you? Like, you can't live without me." And that's the beauty of being a mother is you have people that can't live without you. And people see it as like a hindrance.
Oh, I love when
don't have children if you see them as a hindrance.
I love when my daughter brings me stuff. Dad, open this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. Like my son, he wakes up in the morning and he'll like stroke my face and he goes, "Good morning, my beautiful mommy." Every morning. And it's so nice.
I get the opposite of that. I get a smack in the face and say, "Daddy."
I used to get cars across my forehead like I was a racetrack, like vroom, vroom, vroom.
Oh, she just goes, "Smack, Daddy, it's light out." What fucking time is it? 8 o'clock? Okay, you slept it.
But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And I think if we learn to appreciate the beauty of motherhood or as parenthood, as opposed to just seeing it as like a chore, then it would be more of a beautiful experience for more people. And then they wouldn't experience such negative feelings towards, because some people suffer with like postnatal depression and I don't really enjoy like being a parent. But I think it's mindset. It's what you choose to focus on during that time, that period of, do I want to focus on the negatives? Oh, I have to get up every hour. Or is it, oh my God, I get to wake up every hour and see his face. It's just a mindset in that time, I think, can make a big difference on your parenthood.
Oh yeah, people are like, your sleep's broken when your kid's in the bed. I'm like, and
what?
I'm not getting this time back.
Exactly.
She's going to turn 10, 11, 12 and be like, I don't want you to hold me anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to probably be heartbroken and be like, bye.
And the thing is, you never know when your last time is. Like, you would have had a last with all of the moments, but you don't know when it is. It will be the last time that you bapped your child, the last time that you rocked them to sleep. And I cherished every single second of my kids, and I always will. Like, but I loved motherhood from the day I felt pregnant. I loved it. But again, I think it's mindset. It's shifting that, oh, I have to do this too. I get to do this.
And you believe in the traditional values.
Yeah.
You don't want a handoff.
Yeah, I want to stay home. I want to raise my kids and I want to cook food and I want to rub my man's feet and I want to just make sure he's great and my kids are great. And I have then to me, that's a privilege of being a woman, as I get to do that.
Love it. As we wrap, any final thoughts to the viewers and listeners?
No, don't hate me. I'm sorry if you don't agree with me, guys, but it's just how I see things, okay? And it works best for me. And yeah, that's it.
Where can people find you, Michelle?
Where can people find me?
Mm-hmm.
Like social media?
Yeah.
My Instagram. I really have Instagram.
Okay, Instagram.
So my Instagram is _Michelle Bingley _. I tried to get rid of the underscores, but the girl who has just Michelle Bingley won't sell me her account. And apparently it's illegal to buy it. I didn't know that, so that's it.
I'll link it below.
Thank you.
Appreciate having you on today.
No, it's been lovely. Thank you for having me.